The Fujicast is an independent Loading Zone production.
Friday, 10th of April.
The Fujicast.
Hello, welcome to the Fujicast, the new daily show. It's not so new now, really, is it, Kev? It's been what was it? Now 3 weeks we've been doing this, I think.
I reckon we're going to hit our 100th episode doing this.
We will do. We're definitely going to hit the 250,000th download. I didn't check to see how close we are, but we're really not that far away. Be lovely if you could see who it was that did the 250,000th download, wouldn't it?
Yeah, like a tick down, thing. Yeah.
There we go. So today we've got our new daily photo challenge. I thought the one that you set, by the way, was so hard that nobody was going to enter. But then they sort of started coming out the woodwork, didn't they? With I think the first few, Mandy Burton's was good. She built a house. And then put Action Men and I think some Cindy dolls in there.
I didn't. I thought the one in the top left of Mandy's was me. I didn't think it was a Action Man. It was me, isn't it? Yeah, it looks just like me.
All right, I'll have to look at that one carefully. Chris Pierce Ramwell did say, if you squint, you can see you can see a homage to John Downing making the picture, and that was he did his with Lego Men. So he went to get a box, cut the holes out and put the Lego people in. If you don't know the picture we're talking about, then you're going to have to go into the Facebook group and look at the post, and it'll all make sense. But we'll have.
I loved Simon's one as well, which was him in every window.
Yeah,
Simon Berry.
Yeah, where is it? Oh yes, it wasn't patient enough to wait for the darkness. He just got on with it. Good, I like that. Go ahead, spirit.
Very clever.
Yes,
very clever.
Very good. So I did wonder yesterday when you set it. I was thinking, is this going to be a no-show? But no, far from it. So thank you very much for entering those. And we'll of course, at the weekend, you'll hear who won them all. Before we start, by the way, I know it's old news now, but I just caught up on this, and I wanted to, if I had hair to pull out, I would pull my hair out. Did you read about police have made 2 arrests after 2 men were seen on CCTV licking their hands and wiping them over vegetables, meat and veg handles in a supermarket?
Oh.
They walked into a supermarket in Morecambe. Sleepy Morecambe, for heaven's sake, on Saturday afternoon, and then staff were forced to thoroughly disinfect the store and destroy products. I mean,
well, they should. Well, I'm not going to tell you what. They should.
Warning.
Kev, I think that's a little bit.
Well, I don't know. Honestly, it makes my blood boil.
And if I was Scott Morrison,
stop it.
That's what I'd say to them, but they wouldn't listen.
Just round them all up. This is what I would do: is I'd round them all up.
Careful now.
I'd find a little island somewhere.
Yeah.
And I'd stick them all on it. Really little island, like a rock. It reminds me of that Ben. You remember Ben? You know Ben Fogle?
Yes.
I love Ben Fogle.
Yeah, I know you do.
He's such a nice guy.
Yeah. Have you met him?
No, I've never met him.
You made it sound like you knew him then.
No. He has replied to a few of my things on Instagram, which is quite nice. But I just like his I just like him. He seems like a nice chap. But do you remember when he first came to fame, when they did that, they all spent a year on an island, a remote island in the Outer Hebrides?
Yes.
And that was his first, he was one of the people that went up there.
He was.
And he kind of, that was before Big Brother or anything like that. It was a real social
Was that before
experiment.
Big Brother? I thought that was it? Okay.
It was probably about 20 years ago, 25 years ago maybe.
That long ago?
Yeah, loads.
Because there was another one. There was another program that they made. I think it went very well in America, but it just tanked here and never got put on again. About the same time as Big Brother, there was another one where everybody went onto an island. I can't remember what they called it. You'll know, American listeners. And you're shouting at me now. I can kind of hear it, but it went really well in America, and it just didn't work here. And it's a great shame because it was people having to sort of work it out together and get by. And it was such a that was the sort of thing that Ben Fogle would have gone on as well. I'll tell you what, Bear Grylls would have been great on that. Wouldn't he? Knocked it out of the park, probably, wouldn't he?
Yeah, but Bear Grylls cheats.
He does not cheat.
Yes, he does.
No,
he does.
No, I like Bear Grylls.
You've seen that footage. There's loads of footage of him in like out in Canada, in the wilds of Canada, and he's all in his ragged clothes all that kind of stuff, and he's jumping over this massive ravine that's 1,000-foot drop.
Right.
And then somebody went and took a picture of that same ravine, exactly the same spot, and like there's a cafe there, and there's a bridge just underneath, and It was a load of rubbish.
Oh, no, please.
Stop it.
Because next you'll be telling me that the Tooth Fairy's not real.
No, Tooth Fairy's definitely real, but I need to tell you something about the Easter Bunny.
He's eating all your eggs.
Oh, don't mention the Easter eggs.
Oh.
Don't go there.
From something that wasn't so pleasant to something that's a lot more pleasant. Although it is sad, of course, that John Downing passed. But I went away and read that Guardian piece that you directed us to, and I cut and pasted some stuff here. There was a story in it. He said, on a trip, I had a run-in with the son of a Mujahideen leader after he shot a beautiful white bird just for fun. We got into an argument, and he challenged me to target a small rock. He said if he hit it, he would kill me. And if I hit it, obviously it's a shooting challenge, I could kill him. I never carried a gun. I don't believe journalists should. But I was so angry, I accepted the challenge and borrowed a soldier's Kalashnikov. He aimed and missed. Then I aimed, trying to remember everything I picked up about shooting, and bang, I hit the rock. There was dead silence. I turned to the young lad and said, "Where would you like to die?" It was extremely tense, and then suddenly everybody realised I was joking and laughed. So very gallows humour, I know, but it was an interesting thing. And he had a top tip as well, which I thought was lovely. Look at this. Shoot it on the way out. It may not be there on the way back. That's a good top tip, that, isn't it?
It's true. That's what I always say on street photography. I said it's better to take the picture and never look at it than not take it and wish you'd had it.
Yeah.
Similar thing.
Yeah. Right. Should we go straight into some questions? Because we dallied a bit yesterday, didn't we? With the haunted story and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
It was quite fun.
I spooked myself with that.
I know. Seth Bates. Hi, gents. I'm currently using some of my quarantine time creatively to produce a book using images I made in Asia a few years ago. Although still being in the editing phase, it's dawned on me that I have no idea how I'll organise and produce this. Do you have any tips or suggestions? I know Kev is a book fan, so perhaps he has some suggestions. I mean this in regards to layout, book size, text, also any printing services. It's all personal preference, I know, but I'd be very interested to hear Kev's thoughts. I think his plan is to maybe sell and gift a few copies to friends and family too at some point.
Yeah, I mean, I've never really produced a book, so I don't know. However, I do know what I like in the books, and I like horizontal books. I don't like the ones that are vertical so much. I like ones where it doesn't split across the seam.
Right.
I like simple ones, actually, unless it's one with a very important backstory and it needs a lot of text. But you know, just a picture a page, or maybe even keeping it very clean and have a picture on one page and a short description on the other side. You don't overdo it. Make it clean. Make the images breathe in the pages. Less is more. So be very, very brutal with your editing. And it would be better, it's better to have one picture a page than it is to have 3 or 4 pictures a page. So, be brutal.
What about square? Brutal. What about, because you picked out a square book this week, actually. Yeah. What about square format?
Square's okay if it's big enough. Basically, if it's a small square book, then the images are going to be too small. And obviously, that's true of any size. But what you really don't want to be doing is having vertical books. Well, I mean, they do it a lot because obviously that the shops prefer it because it sits on the shelves easier. But what I hate is those vertical books. It's a little bit like when you buy a bag of crisps. And you look at the bag of crisps and it looks huge.
Yeah.
And then you open the packet of the crisps and there's like 8 crisps at the bottom. And it's like, they've skanked me a bit there. I'm a bit annoyed about that. And it's the same with vertical books. You open the page and then there's a 3x2 image right in the middle with 7 inches of white above and 7 inches of white below. So think about it like a bag of crisps. Don't let people be annoyed that you've not given them enough crisps in your book.
There's a book by I think we've talked about this before. Robin Beck, who is a superb printer. I think it's called something Silver Footprints or Silver Print. I can't remember the actual title, but
no, Robin Beck.
Yeah.
Wasn't she the woman who sang the the Coca-Cola advert?
Yes,
how did that go?
Let me look for it. Hold on, it's on the other side of the room.
It was a one-hit wonder, Coca-Cola.
Oh, yes, you're right. That was Robin Beck. Robin Bell is the one I'm talking about. Silver Footprint. Yeah, Robin Bell, not Robin Beck. You're absolutely right. She was a Coke lady, yeah. But Robin Bell's book is a square format book. If you get a chance to get yourself that book, I think it's still in print. It's absolutely superb, and it gives away some of the sort of printing secrets, I suppose, of some of the very famous photographers that Robin has actually printed for. But that's square format, and each page tends to have a picture and then some text underneath, and it's really nicely laid out. It's a beautiful book. You haven't got that one, have you?
No, but I've just gone to his website, actually. Yeah, I agree. It's I mean, basically, don't overcrowd it. That's the thing. Yeah. It's beautiful. It's funny enough, I was watching, if you want total and utter black and white inspiration.
Oh, inspiration, right.
Have a look at The Jazz Loft on Amazon Prime.
Oh, you sent me this link. I must watch that. Yeah, must watch it. Yeah.
It's incredible. We got to, it was about 11 o'clock last night, and we'd had our third or fourth bottle of wine, and I said to Gemma, let's watch The Jazz Loft. She just got up and went to bed.
Oh, did she? Did you watch it?
Yeah, I've watched it about 3 times now. It's incredible. W. Eugene Smith.
Jazz Loft.
It's the story of him and the pictures he took in the Jazz Loft in New York. Right. It's as much about jazz as it is about his photography, but there's a whole load documentary. It's a documentary of his life in that period of time. And he was incredible. He reminded me, having watched that documentary, he reminded me a little bit of you, to be honest with you. He didn't have much hair, and he was really into his audio as well.
I thought it was going to be a hair comment. I felt it coming.
And at one point, he mentioned in the film that he'd been to Australia.
Have I told you about my Australian trip recently?
No, in all seriousness, he did remind me of you, because he was one of the first kind of photojournalists that embraced audio as well. Right. And he would record everything. He would record phone calls. He would record audio from the street. Oh, wow. He had everything. There's even this clip where a police officer comes up to the loft to check on him. And this whole audio is recorded, the whole thing, and the police officer's like, bear in mind, this is like early, I don't know, 50s, 60s, right. Quite sure, maybe even earlier than that. But it was the police officer's like, what are all these spinning things? Right. And he's like, it's audio recording, it's tape recording. Why are you recording me? And yeah, I can't remember the exact words, but it's something like, well, in the future, this will be what people will hear. Yeah. And, and it's that nostalgia thing. Pictures are absolutely superb. It almost made me think, you know what? I really miss those places where people could just go and do whatever they wanted. They were smoking and drugs and everything. And the pictures...
Careful.
The pictures are just... incredible. Yeah.
Well, Ronnie Scott's. I remember the first time I ever went to Ronnie Scott's, and that was in the days, Grandad, when you were allowed to smoke in a jazz club, and you can imagine what it was like. And I mean, I've never smoked, so it wasn't something I found particularly pleasant. But it was definitely a different kind of atmosphere. There's a smoky atmosphere with the stage lights, and it was a different kind of club, I think. But but then again, not in any way saying I enjoyed it more because it was smoky, because I didn't.
No, absolutely. I wouldn't condone that, of course. I mean, life is a lot better since they stopped that. But it just, the pictures were just, you have all these people with huge cigars and the smoke and the atmosphere and everything. I went to Ronnie Scott's with Crash Taylor once.
Did you? Crash Taylor? There's a name I haven't heard for about 3,500 years.
Yeah. Wow. Me and Crash Taylor, Ronnie Scott's.
Is that his real name, Crash?
No. I think his real name is...
Bob.
No, it's Paul, I think.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah.
Crash sounds a bit cooler, I suppose.
Crash sounds a lot cooler, yeah.
There's nothing wrong with Paul,
what would you do? No, hang on a sec. Let's think about this. What would you do? What would you call yourself if you weren't called Neil James?
Well, see, the secret that's not actually my real name. And now everybody else does as well. But the name that I had before, with a story behind it. Well, now you've gone down that road. I have a particular name that sounds, I suppose, a little bit posh. And when I got the job at Radio 1, the controller at the time said, there's just on the way out the door that day, he said to me, there's 2 things I need to say to you. And I was like, yes, anything you like. And he said, number 1, never, ever wear a tie in this building again. That was number 1. And number 2 was, you need to change your name because you sound a little bit too public school. So he sent me down to McDonald's on Regent Street. Well, I took myself to McDonald's. classy bloke. And I had to think of a name. He gave me about half an hour and said, come back in half an hour and tell me what your professional working name's going to be for the rest of your life. No mobile phones or anything like that. So there was no way I could contact mum and dad and say, what do you think I should be called? So I just came up with that. There we go.
Was everything in black and white then?
Yeah, everything.
I reckon I'd call myself. What would I call myself? I'd like to go for Moody Mullins.
Moody Mullins. That's a good
or
jazz
Madness Mullins.
Good jazz name, that. Moody. I can imagine that now. Moody Mullins. Seth did also ask any ideas on printing services. I suppose you could always go to somebody like Blurb. I think their quality of their books is quite good, actually. A lot of people like the stuff that Blurb put out.
It's expensive if you're selling it. That's the only problem, isn't it?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. I mean, if you're going to do a print run or something, totally different thing altogether. But reading the words here, it doesn't look like it was going to be a big print run. But, as you say, your mileage may differ, isn't it?
No, your YMMV. Your mileage may vary.
Your mileage may vary. That's it. Right, another one. Then we'll do today's photo challenge. Then we got the pub quiz as well. Keith Martin. Hello to you both. Once again, thanks for the daily output, your insights and good humour. Much needed, appreciated. Anyway, enough smoke. A question. Well, it's almost a dovetail to that last piece. It's all about stories within the story, this one, Kev. Some of my favourite images from the few weddings I've shot are ones that I've not felt able to pass on or use. I think you've got one of these. Although unaware at the time of shooting, as the phrase capture the day was rattling around in my head, when coming to the edit, I realised that I had unwittingly caught a hidden story. The best man who was obviously in love with the bride, or the maid of honour who clearly had no time for the groom. Do either of you have a stash of images that you like but feel you probably can't give to the happy couple? That's a very good question, Keith.
A very good question, yeah. I'm not sure I've got a stash, but I certainly have a few that I've kept back for sure. Yeah, a couple. Some that are, it's usually...
Are you able to say?
No. I can describe this one picture, I suppose, because
all right.
There's no the one I'm presuming it's the one you're thinking of as well. So it was a wedding I shot a couple of years ago, and it was a very do that thing that you do, la-di-da. Do that.
Right. It was a very posh one, was it?
Very la-di-da.
Yeah. Yes.
I love that. And
that's my friend Lynn. That is. She's a broadcaster. Lynn Parsons.
Oh, Lynn Parsons.
Yeah. She was. I was doing a voiceover thing with her one day, and I said, "Could you possibly say it with slightly more?" And she said, "Oh,
very la-di-da."
I said, "Yeah, if you could do it in that accent."
You know all my heroes.
Oh, don't I? There we go.
So yeah, it was a very posh wedding, let's say, and there was I would say quite a substantial amount of middle-aged ladies drinking gin and tonic from a very early part of the day.
Oh.
And there's one picture I have which was just before the first dance, so probably about 9 o'clock at night, something like that. Yeah. And I'm watching this scene unfold in front of me, and I'm just watching it because I'm just waiting for the first dance to happen. Yeah. And you have like 3 or 4 people all telling a joke, and there's this one lady there as well.
Right.
And she's on the outskirts of this group, but she's kind of leaning in to listen. And then the guy, and then I think, okay, so there's a picture forming here. There's a story. Something's happening. I'm going to get ready. So I lifted my camera. And...
You love this so much. You're laughing at it.
And
go on.
He says the joke, whatever it was, and all of the heads go back laughing. And this one lady, she threw her head back laughing and threw her head back so far she fell flat on her back, legs in the air, bum everywhere, dress rode up her torso, her stockings, her underpants, everything on display, legs akimbo. And she's still laughing her head off as she's flat on her back, and it's brilliant. And so, actually, for that one, I said to the client, I didn't put it in the gallery, but I said to the clients, "Look, I do have this one other picture that I'm going to send to you separately. I don't expect you to put it in the gallery, and if you want me to destroy it forever, I will. But you can have it."
Did they let you put it in the gallery?
If you want to. No, I didn't put it in the gallery. if you want to keep it for bribe purposes later in life. So things like that happen, and I've got a couple of.
But that's not sort of. I suppose that's embarrassing, but it's not. It's not like that picture of, as was described just now, as the bridesmaid looking at the. What was it? No. The best man looking at the bride. Oh, the best man looking at the bride, and clearly those two were in love. That's a very awkward moment, isn't it?
That's what happened in Love Actually, isn't it?
Is it?
Remember with Egg from Teachers?
Yeah, right.
He was in love with not Britney Spears. What's her name? Keira Knightley.
Right.
He was the filmmaker. He was the videographer. Oh, yeah, Neil. He was the videographer of that wedding.
Right. Okay.
And he fell in love with Keira Knightley.
Wow.
And so when they looked at the video, the only thing on the video was her constantly.
Oh, that's right.
There was no groom or anything.
Yes, that's right. And they watch it, don't they? And it comes to them. Actually, yes, I remember it. It occurs to them while they're watching the video, doesn't it? And at the end of it, she looks at him. Oh, it's a lovely film.
I love that film.
Yeah.
I love that film.
Aye. Yes, so there we go. Hopefully that answers your question.
The Daily Show Photo Challenge.
Oh, yes. Right, well, yesterday, of course, that was a big challenge. I thought it was a challenge gone too far yesterday, but as proven by you, you've been so good, actually. Not as many people as the first couple of days, but rose to the challenge, and we'll have the answers, or the winners at the weekend. So what has come out of your creative mind today to challenge people with?
Okay, so today I'm trying to even though there's no real rules as such, I'm trying to encourage us to shoot on the day.
Yes.
Okay, so under the embargo of life that we currently find ourselves, and so what I want to see is your dinner.
Your what?
Your dinner.
Your dinner. Yeah.
Yes, and I want to see it create as creatively as possible, but I don't want to see. We don't want to see anything else. So no people, no background, nothing. So effectively, you want to be doing maybe above table shots, something like that. You can use your phone. You can use whatever you want.
Yeah. But it's got. Not just a sort of simple food shot. We want something creative, surely, don't we?
Well, it can be simple. I mean, it just needs to, something that will make our mouths water. That's what we want to see. Yeah. Like a boiled egg. That would make my mouth water. Nicely composed boiled egg and some soldiers.
All those people who live on a farm, they could have a different approach to it. Come here. Kev wants a picture of dinner.
Yeah, so your dinner. So that should be a lot simpler than yesterday, of course, and a little bit easier for everybody to do. And try and keep it so it's today's dinner. And
be really.
Now remember, it's Good Friday today.
Oh yeah.
Remember?
Yes.
So I don't really know what that means, but
well, you should. You're the religious one of the two of us.
Well, I know, but in the religious world, in the Catholic world at least, then you'll be kind of thinking no fish or anything like that. But that's irrelevant, totally irrelevant.
I also remember the Eddie Izzard sketch where he was trying to explain the relevance of chocolate eggs for Easter. The sort of typical Eddie Izzard way of going around the houses with everything. What I don't. What do chocolate eggs? Where is the relevance to chocolate eggs?
Is that a question?
Yeah.
I don't know. I thought you were going to tell us what Eddie Izzard.
No, I can't remember the actual sketch, but
no idea.
So there we go. So chocolate eggs. Easter came.
Nor bunnies, because bunnies don't lay eggs.
No,
I don't get that either.
It's all a bit confusing.
Yeah.
Are you ready for the quiz? And then we'll have another question, and that's it for the day. So, going to set.
Hang on, it's a pub quiz. I need to get my beer.
Yeah.
Hold on.
Oh, have you got a beer?
Right, there we go. Got it.
When we went to Switzerland to do that wedding together, we were sitting in the morning in the it was very early, wasn't it, at the airport, in the days when you're allowed to travel on aeroplanes, and I remember you looking at me saying, "Well, it's 8 o'clock. Is it beer time in an airport? Any time's beer time, isn't it? Really."
There's no time in it. It's like a casino in Las Vegas. There's no clocks for that reason.
Right, so there are 5 questions. There'll always be 5 questions. I know you're going to answer as we go along, so that might give people a slight chance if they need it. But then on Monday's show, I'll give you the actual answers. Okay. So here comes number. There are slight clues in what they say to their identity here and there. Some of them blindingly easy, others not so. Number 1.
I am trying to figure out digital like any other photographer is. But what is important to me is the content.
So I can almost see her. Assuming I got it right, she's got quite a deep voice, kind of quite a pinched voice. I think that's the great Annie Leibovitz.
Okay, I can't tell you the answer, obviously. We'll know on Monday. Number 2, listen very carefully to what he says.
I'm very proud and very honored. I'm humbled to be associated with that picture.
Humbled to be associated with that picture. I'll play it again for you.
I'm very proud and very honored. I'm humbled to be associated with that picture.
That's what we need.
It's not D'Souza, is it? The president. Honored and humbled to be associated with that picture. Associated.
It's obviously a big picture. Wow.
Yeah. Is it actually the photographer?
Oh, it is the photographer. Yeah. He's happy to be associated with this picture.
I don't know. I'm going to say D'Souza, but
okay. All right. Are you writing these down so we'll remember come Monday's show?
Oh no, I haven't got a pen. Good God.
Okay, so
I could.
Annie Leibovitz.
I can scrape it on the side of my beer bottle with a key or something.
Okay. All right. And I've written those first 2 down. Here comes number 3. Now, this one's tricky.
For me, a real artist is somebody who can show us our old familiar worlds in a new and different way we've never seen or heard about before.
There's a good bourbon filled voice.
Can I hear it again?
Yeah, of course you can.
For me, a real artist is somebody who can show us our old familiar worlds in a new and different way we've never seen or heard about before.
Yeah, there we go. He could be doing a late night jazz show. Somewhere down the crazy river. Robbie Robertson.
I don't know. I'm thinking because of the quality of the audio wasn't great, so I think he's an older person.
Yes, this is a
sounds like obviously American. Sounds quite gravelly.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm just going to say Arnold Newman.
Okay. All right. We'll put that down, and we'll come back to that on Monday's answers. I think you'll get the next 2. Oh, you'll definitely get this one.
When I started photography, the Amazonian forest was yet there, close to 100%.
When I started photography, the Amazon forest was close to 100%. Do you want to get?
When I started photography, the Amazonian forest was yet there, close to 100%.
So there's obviously somebody that cares deeply about ecology.
I'm going to guess Salgado.
Okay, put that down.
Sebastião Salgado. Great documentary about him on Amazon Prime as well, by the way.
Is there?
And it's all about his dad, him and his dad.
They am I right in thinking he had a farm or something?
His dad did, yeah.
And his dad gave him the farm, and it started as barren land, but in a photograph taken not so long ago, it's got trees all across the valley, something like 1 million trees or something.
Yeah, I think there's some merit in that story for sure. I don't know how it ended, but yeah, his dad did.
Right, number 5 then, the last one. I've taken your answers, I've written them down. You don't have to take Kev's answers at all. He could be right, he could be wrong. There's a song in that, isn't there? It could be right. This is number 5.
There's a misunderstanding that my work is about marginalized people.
Okay. One more time.
There's a misunderstanding that my work is about marginalized people.
No.
Now, you actually have mentioned this photographer a few times.
Yeah, so
you are aware of them, but you may not be aware of the voice so well.
I'm struggling a bit because it could be Eve Arnold, it could be I think what was her name? Is it? I don't recall. Yeah, you're right. I can't remember her voice. The lady who did Family Love book, one of my favourite books. Now I'm struggling to remember her name because of.
Oh, that was Family Love. Was I'm going to have to look it up.
Hang on, stay there. Don't go anywhere. Wait.
While he's away, I don't think he's right. He's just giving you a bit of a bum steer on that one.
Darcy Padilla. That's who I'm going to go for. Darcy Padilla.
You're going to go for that. Okay.
Yep.
There we go. All 5 are done, and we'll have the answers on Monday's show. So hold on to those, and of course on Monday you'll get to find out if you're a classy winner or not. Right, time for one more question, and then that's it. It's doors down and away we go. What have we got here? Oh, yeah, you'll like this one. It's just a quick one. They've been a bit wedding-related today, which is fine. It's not a problem. But Marion M. Hi there. Insert the usual well-deserved praise here. I just wondered today on my commute to work. Oh, you're lucky you're able to work. Knowing it's not a common thing, did you ever get asked to provide only also, so it's only stroke also, the raws after a wedding, possibly by another photographer? Actually, this could be after any kind of gig, really. It doesn't have to be a wedding. Would you even consider this, even if it's for certain people you may know? Stay safe and healthy, guys. Thank you for the daily work on the podcast. It's an absolute no from me, actually. I'd rather...
I'd do it if they paid me enough.
Would okay. Every man has his price.
Yeah, I would. I mean, if somebody said to me, can we have the raws and we'll give you $2,000? I'd say, yeah, okay.
Yeah, all yours. All yours.
I would, without a thought. What I wouldn't do is provide the raws for free, or on the, on the odd raw because husband or wife wants to edit it a bit differently or anything. That would be definitely a no-no. But if somebody said to me, can I have all the raw files and here's a whole load of money? Yeah. I would say, yep.
There we go.
Absolutely. And if you want a dog to go with it, I have one for free.
Oh, don't give Git away. Poor Git. Well, that's it for another day. Weekend approaching. You staying in at the weekend? Yes, probably.
Yeah, I think so, yeah. Quite one, I think.
Oh, actually, Mass will not be working in your area, or church will not be working in your area, had it not been for the light and the webcam you set up for them the other day. So
we'll have to see if it works. The first one will be this evening, so we'll have to... Our visions of my aperture light falling into the frame, knocking over the webcam.
Hopefully not. It's an expensive light. Can you imagine that? Bang, crash. Everything comes down like a deck of cards, or whatever that expression is. Right, I'll talk to you soon. Thank you, Kevin, and thank you for answering the questions. You're a brave man. We'll find out on Monday's show if you were right.
Bye-bye.
The Fujicast is an independent loading zone production. Email the show with your questions and words of wisdom to click@fujicast.co.uk. Email any complaints and political nonsense to our wives, who will deal with your comments in their own good time and in their own good way.